Good afternoon, my dear brothers and sisters, and thank you, Dr. Jennifer. And after the lunch break, we are here to discuss with the theme number 3, the faith formation of the young in schools. Young people, the faith and the vocational discernment. By now, we all know the purpose of the Archdiocesan Pastoral Convention. We are here to discuss and plan the future of the church pastoral activities. Our theme here is young people, faith, and vocational discernment. This reveals to us to focus on the importance of youth and children and draw them closer to the Lord in the broader context of the church as the evangelizer. So what is Archdiocesan Pastoral Convention? If we understand it in this way, it's identification, recognition, and following the process towards a religious vocation. And to understand it more, let us see this gospel phrase taken from St. Matthew, chapter 18, verse 3. Unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Here we are reminded of the attitude of Jesus towards children. Jesus gives such great importance to children and expects us to follow the same. In this light, we ought to pay special attention to them, understanding that they need our accompaniment to reach their sacred goal of being a person of deep faith, upholder of Christian values, and a person of profound example in society. We cannot forget the fact that the children too should contribute to the well-being of the society and the Christian community immensely. But we see in today's context the challenges that they face. But before that, with the words of Jesus, when we dive into the history, Jesus during his public life often displayed his initiative love for children and their innocence when he emphasized that childlike innocence and purity are essential qualities required to enter the kingdom of God. This is the foundation of the thought that children are an essential part of the Christian society. So when we look at today's context, there are numerous challenges for children and youth. The children who play a pivotal role in society are vulnerable as a result of their innocence, lack of experience, and knowledge. They are exposed to multiple dangers prevalent in society. If we take few examples, we see they are challenged by war, conflict, neglect, abuse, poverty, drugs, and social media. And as educators, we see these new trends coming up to the life of children and youth. They are very much challenged and they are vulnerable. And if we take few examples of what we see here in the screen, We see they are neglected at home. They are neglected in the parish. They are sometimes neglected in their classroom. And sometimes they are abused verbally, and sometimes they are abused physically. And sometimes they are being used to being the drug dealers, and sometimes they are being used to different addictions due to social media and etc. So children and youth in society play a crucial role in the synodal renewal. Why and how? So we are here as responsible members of the church, representing the church and representing schools, representing different institutions. We are here to make decisions for our future of the church. But at the same time, what I feel is we are creating the future of our children. As responsible members of the church, we are here taking decisions, and at the same time, we are creating the future of our children. So because of that, children and youth in the society, very important, and they play a crucial role in the synodal renewal. So the synodal renewal is a process of spiritual renewal and structural reform within the Catholic Church. So the change first should come from within. The transformation should come from within, and that change should reach structural reforms within the church. So how our children and youth contribute to the synodal renewal? Children and youth strongly value friendship and sharing with others, whereas they dislike controlling. They do not like repeated advices. They are very critical. Sometimes they do not hesitate to criticize their parents. If the parents are not up to their expectations, the children do not hesitate to criticize their parents, and they do not hesitate to criticize their teachers, and they are very much spontaneous to express their ideas. But they value equality, they value fairness, and at the same time, they, not like in the past, they take special attention to care for the earth, which is our common home. And their request at the 2018 Synod reflects the idea of a church that listens and walks together. They want guidance from mentors and a life connected to prayer and the sacraments. They need a church that listens and walks together. So, as I represent the field of education, what we often hear is, what they say is, we don't have anyone to talk at home. We are bored. There's no one. So, as the church, have we heard this voice? Have we heard the cry of our youth and our children? So, without listening to our young and our children, as we take decisions here in this room, and here we are discerning together, we need to hear the cry of our youth and the children as we walk together towards synodality. Let's look at the views of the National Pastoral Convention. The national pastoral conventions advocate the development of the human person. Church, state, and education could be recognized as areas which require specific attention for development. Special attention should be paid to students in government schools. The connection between the schools and the parish church, while the importance of transparency and accountability should be recognized. Equality should be maintained and holistic education should be promoted. Ways to enhance spirituality among children and youth. In pursuance of creating religious vocations amidst Christian youth and children, several religious organizations have been established for spiritual enhancement. The Holy Childhood Program and YCS are important tools that should be strengthened to inspire greater involvement in the church mission and encourage among young. In addition, the church is focused on developing qualities such as interpersonal relationships, leadership skills, and communication skills among the young. And especially we see a drastic change in the life of children after the pandemic. We can identify the difference between pre-pandemic children and post-pandemic children. The life of schools, the life of education, and the children are drastically changed due to the pandemic. So because of that, from the church and from the schools, our children need more exposure and experience. So church has a great responsibility to help them develop their leadership qualities. Opportunities must be made available for the healthy mixing of sexes, while sex education is to be imparted by competent personnel in order to educate the young. And it is also specially accepted that more priests and religious should be involved in school administration and moral education. And here it is not just involving in the school administration, but being able to make positive impact on the lives of the young. And a survey has revealed that spiritual training in schools should be developed. And all of us have got the booklet. We can see the outcome of the survey. So from schools and parishes, the request is to organize more spiritual programs to develop the spirituality of our young and the youth. The recommendations for development of spiritual education. The recommendations are on the booklet. There must be a policy clearly drawn up for the protection of the children from all kinds of abuse, which is prevalent in society today. The poor and needy children must be helped to go for higher education. There must be plans to help them continue their education, particularly the students in government schools. The church must negotiate with the government to safeguard the rights of the children in all the schools. No child is to be left behind must be the policy of the church with regard to the spiritual education of the church. The children, when dealing with their colleagues, should be made to treat the poorer children with respect. Faith education and formation to true Christian discipleship among the Catholic children should be further encouraged. The Holy Childhood Program and the YCS should be further enhanced in order to get our children more involved in the mission of the Church. The overall message conveyed is that moral education should be given prominence and recognition. Catholic schools and universities create a bridge between faith and culture. The formation should be directed towards Christ. I wind up my presentation with this slide. So thank you everyone who had been listening. Thank you.